Hello, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Christina and I. I can't believe it's another Monday. I know
I
we
know.
have this conversation like every single week, but it's the middle of August. What the heck?
I know. We were talking this weekend that like our summer is almost over here in Calgary. Like it is like we are a hop, skip, and a jump away from the S word. That it's terrible. I said that to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Don't you dare say that." That's
Well,
September. That
I was
often
gonna
not
say, you always get snow in September, right? So it's one of those things. Good morning, Tina. Well, we are here not to talk about how quickly this year is gone, even though we do feel that it's funny, right? 2020 has been the year of crazy, but
It's like, whoa, hi dogs. It's sometimes painfully slow. Like it feels like time is standing still, but then you look back and it's like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. How quickly some things have gone. So
I know, and it's well, when somebody was saying to me, Ben was talking to his parents. They live over in England, and like we're still in lockdown here in Mexico, and I'm like, it's been since March 14th, and we're like, oh my god, like
that's so long.
how have we been like, and then it doesn't feel that long either because I'm like, how could it possibly be August already? It's just crazy. Anyways, so even though we all know that that's how it's been feeling, that's not what we're here to talk about today.
We do have another topic in mind.
We do. We are talking about cardio versus strength, you know, the benefits, the what, the how, the who, all of that stuff, because we get a lot of questions, definitely when it comes to fitness. What's better? What's the right way? How do I track it? What is it? What should I be looking for? What if I have limitations? What if I need modifications? What? So we wanted to kind of really talk about that today. And so giving you guys some understanding as well as answering some questions that have come in, even since I posted that this is what we're talking about today. We had some questions come in. So if you guys do have any questions, of course, you can post them in the comments. If you're watching live, of course, let us know where you're watching from. We're always curious to see where you're at. And if you're watching the replay, just give us a hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, we can always follow up from there. All right, so let's talk about this. Christina, let me ask you this first question. If you had to choose between cardio or strength, which would you prefer?
You know, that's a hard question, honestly, because I have a love-hate relationship with cardio because cardio is cardio. I find strength to be easier to do, but in the grand scheme of things, I always feel more accomplished when I've done a good cardio workout. I like mashing them together, like in a HIIT style workout. That is kind of my favorite way to do things. But if I had to choose strictly cardio or strictly strength, I would probably choose strictly cardio, which is probably surprising to a lot of people. But I feel more accomplished when I'm done than I do with a strength workout. But I see value in both, and I know because I've worked with you for a minute or two. I know that I need both. So
yeah, and that's really interesting because I would say you're probably few and far between because oftentimes we hear people say because cardio is cardio, they don't want to do it because it's hard, right? They get their heart rate up, they get huffing and puffing, they're sweaty mess. Yeah, that is not the
that's the feeling of accomplishment at the end of it. That, like I said, it's not like I want to do it, but I like that feeling at the end of it. It's to me, I compare it to like cleaning my house, but I like cleaning bathrooms and kitchens because I feel accomplished at the end of it. It's disgusting, but somehow I'm a sucker for punishment.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Bathrooms and kitchens are the worst. But again, not what we're talking about. So what is the big difference between the two? Well, the biggest one that you will know and quickly understand is when you get your heart rate pumping and you feel out of breath. That is what a cardio type workout is. So it can be anywhere from walking with a pace of your strength where you're getting that heart rate up and you're feeling like you're huffing and puffing, biking, running, swimming, going for a hike, any of those things that are going to elevate your heart rate for a long period of time, and I say extended being 20 minutes or more, as well as feeling like you can't have an okay conversation like we're having right now. Julie loves cardio after doing the classes with music. I love it. They seem to go faster. I used to hate cardio and didn't want to do it. Yes, I love it. My workout this morning that I did was it was a cardio only, which again I'm not a huge fan of. But we threw in some music, threw in some different tempos, and by the end of it, you're just like, whew, it was done and done. But
yes, it does fly by faster.
Totally. But yeah, so the biggest difference, as I said, if you have like a doohickey that tells you about your heart rate, we're going to talk a little bit about that and how that might change whether you're doing cardio or strength. And then strength, of course, on the other hand, is you don't even have to necessarily use weights as long as you're using your body as your weight. But often strength is working your body so that you are tearing at the muscle fibers, which is ultimately what happens if you're doing a bicep curl, a shoulder press, a squat, any of those things. You're working into the muscle. Now, can you combine the two of them? Absolutely. Right, as Christina said, when you're doing a HIIT style workout, you're doing cardio. When you're getting your heart front and puffing on by doing mountain climbers, burpees, shuffles, running on the spot, any of those things, and then you add in a squat to an overhead press or a bicep curl or something, you are then doing them both. And so then you will see your heart rate respond to doing them both. And that's why HIIT is such a great workout, because you are getting what I call your peaks and valleys in your heart rate, right? Your peaks go up because your heart rate's pumping, you're doing your cardio. Then you come down into that valley because you're doing your strength. Now, I don't necessarily want to say that one is better than the other, but here's the most important thing. It always depends on your goals. Right? It always depends on your goals. If somebody says to me, Lindsay, I want to run a marathon, well, guess what's going to be more important? Cardio obviously needs to be running. If somebody says, I want to lose a lot of weight, then that is where the combination of the two of them go. So when you're doing strength training, you can actually kick your metabolism up higher and longer. We call it afterburn, which basically allows that body to burn calories after you're done. But cardio is also super important because that's when a lot of our fat burning comes into play. And I have a question about that, which I'm going to leave for a little bit because I'm going to come back to it. But those are the big differences between the two. So the ultimate answer, unless you are just looking to run a marathon, and I say just in the sense that running is priority. I mean, strength is definitely in there as well. A combination of strength and cardio is important for everybody. So Christina, we have a lot of members in our Your Bariatric Transformation Academy that have limitations and need modifications and have come into the program in the last 2 or 3 months thinking they just can't do a cardio workout or they just can't do a strength workout. So, what are some of the things that we suggest or offer for them that if they do have some limitations?
Well, yeah, so people constantly think that cardio is, strapping on those running shoes and going for a run or jumping on a piece of equipment, which all of us just don't have access to, right? But that's not something that we all have. So you can do all kinds of things for cardio. And like Lindsay said, as long as you're huffing and puffing and kind of getting that heart rate up and you're feeling like you can still answer questions but not really hold a full conversation is kind of what you're looking for. That you shouldn't be able to talk as easily as we can talk right now. But if I was to say to you, Julie, how are you doing right now? You should be able to say, hey, still doing pretty good. Like you should be able to, answer, like you're not so winded that you can't answer, but you're definitely not able to, answer me freely. And continue to talk and talk. So things you can do at home, like Lindsay said, you can do shuffles, you can dance. Lindsay teaches a dance fit class that's awesome for cardio. You can do jumping jacks, which you can modify. You don't need to jump. You can do tap jacks where you're just tapping out every time that you're putting the foot to the side and then the other foot to the side. There is a way to modify burpees. I did not know this before working with Lindsay, but anybody can do a burpee. You can do a burpee from a chair. And if just the tapping, like for the jacks, or just the up and down for the burpee isn't enough, you can add some weights to it. And again, just push that body a little bit further. You don't have to actually jump to get a jumping motion. You can come up to your tippy toes, back down, up to your tippy toes, back down. And that gives your body the idea of the jumping, gives your heart rate an ability to rise and pick itself up a little bit and still get you huffing and puffing. So you don't need to be doing that running motion or anything like that in order to get huffing and puffing. I've done some low impact cardio classes where literally like your feet barely even leave the ground and you're huffing and puffing at the end of it. I know Lindsay has taught chair fitness before, which is like you're in a chair the whole time and you're like a sweaty dripping mess at the end of it. So there's all kinds of things. Swimming is another great one if you do have the ability to jump in a pool and do some swimming. That's another really good one for cardio. Going for a walk, and if your pace can't get up, adding some weights, like some ankle weights or some wrist weights, or just doing some elevation. So finding some big hills and walking up and down those hills instead of, again, getting that pace going faster. So if you're not able to do the running, well then, add some elevation. That's something that, I learned a long time ago on treadmills, that again, if you can't get the pace faster, change the elevation and that will make a difference as well. So all kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big thing to keep in mind too is the bigger the movement, the more your body has to work. So if you are doing high knees, for example, but you are not able to jump, and that's fine, add the arms and get the arms big and get so that what happens is when your hands are up in the sky and then they're down to the floor, your heart has to pump harder to get the blood and the oxygen up to the tippy tips at the top and back down again. So the more you move.
In some of the music classes, we'll often throw in some freestyle dance. And I always tell people, you need to dance like nobody's watching. Like Elaine from Seinfeld is how you're dancing. The bigger, the better. You're not at the club trying to pick somebody up right now. You are dancing like wild. Like you're just being as crazy as you can, getting as big of movements as you can, moving as many parts on your body as you can, and just really trying to get that cardio, that heart rate up.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember too, right, guys, it doesn't have to be hours and hours. Years ago, so I've been in the fitness industry almost 20 years now. Years ago, it was like you need to spend 2, 3, 4 hours at the gym. Now, 30 minutes is all you need. But the difference is you have to look at what you're doing. So for example, in our classes, we'll do a lot of multi-muscle group exercises. So a squat is going to work all the big muscles in your lower body, and then up into an overhead press, you're going to then take in some shoulders and some back and some core work. So you're not just doing one basic bicep move, which yes, you have secondary muscles doing it, but you're working all, right? So we do lunges with bicep curls. We do, deadlifts with tricep extensions. We do multifunctional and multi-muscle group work. And that is also going to get that heart rate going and really focus on that. So when you are thinking about the...
Oh, we just lost your audio.
Oh.
There, now we have you back.
Oh, that was very strange. Yeah, so you want to really incorporate both into your week. And a question I get all the time is how many of each? And this comes down to how often you work out, right? If you're working out 6 days a week, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you're working out 3 days a week, I'm going to tell you another thing. Depending on where you're at, you want to incorporate in as many times as you can. We kind of say 3-ish, depending on the number that you're doing, cardio, 2-ish, depending on the number that you're doing, of strength. And then we also really encourage a flexibility or a mind, like a yoga or something like that in there. So, really that's very, very important to have a good combination. But we see people a lot go into the gyms or doing walking only, and we want to really encourage you to get the strength part of it into it. You are not going to get big and bulky and buff by picking up a 5-pound weight. I can tell you because I have trained fitness models. I have trained people who've done competitions. They don't look like that by accident. I promise you that. We can't even get you guys to come up to like 1,500 calories. Imagine eating 3,500 calories. That's what these people are doing who are getting big and buff. So strength is one of the least looked at oftentimes because women especially are very afraid. They're not sure. Yes, you can hurt yourself. There are things that go on with it, but it also is one of the biggest bangs for your buck, because if you're doing a HIIT workout, not only are you getting 30 minutes in and out fast, because let's be honest, we're all busy with our lives, but you're also able to get both the cardio and the strength into your workout, which gives you the double benefit of cardio, which is for your heart and your lungs, which, as much as we all want to look a certain way and all of those great things, your heart and your lungs are pretty damn important in our world, right? So you want them to be healthy. The strength then also helps with osteoporosis. It helps with metabolism. It helps with draining the body, right? So burning the calories, all of those things. So you want to really combine the two of them, which is why we really encourage doing both. So never just do one. Same with the people who are just doing strength. Get some cardio in there. You don't have to do a lot, right? You don't have to do a ton, but get some cardio in there, which is really, really important.
And another thing is finding something that you like. So as Julie said earlier, she finally loves cardio since she started doing classes that have music in them. Julie's been doing our classes for quite a long time, but was probably more like I was. And I avoided cardio classes for a slightly different reason. But when I was instructing a cardio class, I found it really tough to instruct and talk and everything while working out to that cardio capacity. So when Lindsay and I talked about that, and that was the struggle that I was having, we started adding music to classes. So now I tell everybody exactly what we're going to do. We turn on some music, we move for the entire duration of a song, and then we stop and I instruct for the next song. So for me, it just worked a lot better, and I found that I was getting a better workout adding that music to classes. I also just personally find that I move better when there's music on, that some people find music a little bit distracting, but others find music really motivating. I know in every area of my life, music is a huge thing for me. So if I can turn on music, then I feel like I have better focus and all of that. If I'm really stressed out, I will just take a pause, put some music on, whatever. So music is a really big thing for me. So finding classes now that have music in them, I look forward to those classes. I love making the playlists for my classes, but I just find that that's something that I love. I know the dance fit class has been really popular for a lot of people because it's a way of moving their body in these like dance moves that people really enjoy. Again, some people love running, some people love, skiing, some people love biking. Finding something that you love to do is really important. I know, again, for myself, our classes are huge because I'm a social worker-outer. That's the wrong word. But you know what I mean. I like to do workouts in a social setting, that I do not want to work out by myself in a little, in a gym at, wherever by myself or in my basement by myself. I'm not going to do it. That I like to be social while working out. I have paid a ridiculous amount of money to trainers in my life, partly so that I had someone to work out with. Not even gonna lie, that I could figure out how to do the things on my own, but I always felt better when I had somebody there motivating me. I constantly was that person trying to recruit friends to go to the gym with me because I didn't want to do it by myself. So our classes give me that social outlet that I can say, hey, how's it going at the beginning of class? I can, kind of joke about how hard cardio is in the middle of class, and I can just feel like I have people there with me. So I need that. I'm never going to be that person that presses play on a YouTube video. Never, ever, ever. It's not going to be me. So I know that about myself. I'm also probably not going to hop on my bike and go for a super long bike ride by myself. But if a friend said to me, do you want to go biking? I would do it because I love that, that whole social aspect of it. So think about the pieces of yourself when you're trying to find a workout routine, things about you that, are very obvious. And try to make your workout routine fit into that. So again, your cardio stuff, make it something that you enjoy. Your strength pieces, maybe those are what you want to do in a more social setting and, do with a friend or come to one of our classes or whatever. Maybe you're somebody like Robin or Rachel who's really great at hopping on your bike and you can do that cardio by yourself, but then the strength pieces you prefer to have somebody sort of instructing you on. So there's all kinds of different ideas and ways to do things. I know Frankie's really big into trail running. There's lots of people in our program that are really into hiking. Finding things that you love is really, really important.
Yeah, and I think too, like everybody is different. And that's the thing. Like I know with Ben loves solo running. He would not want to run with people. Where me, I'm like, who wants to run with me? Like I recruited my daughter because I was like, I don't want to go by myself. So I'm the same way. But I'm actually a little bit different from Christina because Christina does it for the social aspect. I do it for the accountability aspect because I am an obliger and that means I won't do it by myself. And so if my daughter says to me, Mom, isn't it time to go running? She's 10, by the way, but I can still use her as an accountability buddy. Then I'm in a situation where it's like, okay, let's go. The classes for me are huge for that reason because I get up at stupid o'clock in the morning, throw some music on, and even though all of us are like, grr, like good morning, grr, it's just like we get it done and that's part of it. So definitely finding something that you enjoy. And a lot of people have said to us, I don't like cardio or I don't like strength. And, it's a very, closed-minded I don't like. And the truth of the matter is it's just you haven't found the one you do enjoy, right? When I met Christina, she was like, I hate exercise. I do not want to exercise. Now that's almost 4 years ago now and things have changed because she's now instructing exercise and changing and is now like, what else could I do? I love seeing these results. What else can I do? So yes, you can change. But I say to people all the time, if they don't love to exercise, they just haven't found the right thing yet, right? They really haven't. I have a list of 99 different types of exercises, everywhere from volleyball to kangaroo jumping to if you're like, what the hell? That's because you never tried it. So how do you know you don't like that? You just don't know. And so finding something that you enjoy that can incorporate both strength and cardio into your world will be ideal for the long run. I have heard people say it's all about the nutrition. Don't get me wrong, nutrition plays a massive, massive part in any journey. But the exercise is not just about the weight loss. It's also about the heart and the lungs and the osteoporosis and feeling good and having that accomplishment, right? You'll never regret a workout you've already done. And I swear by that 100%. You may regret when your alarm goes off at 4:15 like I did this morning, but I'll never regret when I'm done, sweat pouring off of me, accomplished with the women who joined me in my class this morning, right? You never regret it after it's finished.
I say that at the end of many workouts. I never say it at the beginning. But there are so many days that, again, I'm not an obliger, that I can, you know, sort of self-regulate myself and make myself do things. But I do find that showing up to class, I often show up and think, I'm just going to go through the motions today. I'm not really going to work very hard. I think it was on Saturday morning or it was Friday, I can't remember. One day, I was like, I'm not even going to work out. I'm just going to, but then I get to class and the ladies in my class are all working to their best ability. And I'm like, I can't slack. If they're doing it, I need to do it. And then, yeah, by the end of it, again, I'm huffing and puffing, I'm sweating, I'm done. And I felt amazing at the end. So it is that. And then you kind of chase that, that feeling, like those endorphins that are flowing at the end of that workout and how good you feel in that afterburn, that you sort of chase that afterwards because it does feel really good to you. And it feels like that sense of accomplishment, like when you have a clean kitchen.
Again, not on the clean kitchen part, but the science of what we call the runner's high, right? People say that all the time, the runner's high. It is, your endorphins are pumping after you're doing your workout. Most of the time, yes, it starts during the workout, but after you're done, your body is literally releasing all of the happy hormones. So you feel good after it's done. That's why you never regret it after it's done. Maybe before you're like, I don't want to do it. But
that's you frequently are cursing during.
Yeah, definitely cursing during. That's why it's good to have the music on, because then you can either be singing like at the top of your lungs and nobody can hear you, or you can be swearing at the top of your lungs and still nobody can hear you. But so this is a really important thing too, is that we're going to talk, I don't know which coffee chat it is. It's probably like 3 or 4 weeks from now, but I'm actually going to do a whole thing on heart rate monitors and heart rate zones and stuff, because there's a lot of information to cover with that. So I don't want to just try to, slam it into the next 4 minutes. But if you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or an Android or cheap knockoff or whatever it is.
Cheap knockoff for the win. That tells me I get like 4 steps a day.
But it has some really, really valuable information to be able to understand where you're working in your own workouts, right? With Apple Watches, with Fitbits, it's not just about the steps. That's where it started, right? People wanted to know, they had their little pedometer attached to their, their chest, and they would walk. But it's gone so much beyond that now. It's actually gotten the individual, the everyday individual, the non-athletes of the world to understand what heart rate means to them. When I was doing Ironmans and marathons and all of that stuff, we had these. They were there because you had to know how hard you were working. Did you have enough from the bike to the run? Were you able to get your heart rate down from different transitions? It was very much an athletic wear only. But now we've brought them into not only more reasonably priced, but brought them into more of the fitness world, into the everyday world, so that we could see the different aspects of what your heart rate does. As I said, the peaks and valleys, what your maximum heart rate is, what your resting heart rate is, and all of that information. Now, I've had a lot of questions about that, hence why I want to do a full information session about the heart rate monitors and heart rate zones and stuff like that. And I don't want to give it disjustice just by trying to jump in too little of information here. But when you are wearing it, or when you have it on and you remember to start and stop it, which is a really key important one that I always forget to do. My workout yesterday, I did Dance Fit. It was like 17 hours. I was like, it was a good one. But yeah, so it is a very valuable tool to use. So if you guys are using them, but you're not utilizing the stats afterwards. Now, I am not analysis paralysis. I do not like spreadsheets. I'm not, Ben loves them. I know Christina has her ideas on certain things. Like, I'm just not a big stat person. However, when I'm done a workout, I will always go in and take a look, because it has clues to let you know. It's almost like, being a detective about your own body. We often say we're our own lab rats when we think about nutrition, but with heart rate monitors and heart rate zones, it gives you that detective work of your own body. How did I feel this morning? Was I really out of breath? Did I work hard enough? Was I working in the right zones? All of those things. And so you can download the information on your little doohickey and then figure out where it is. And so that will give you so much more information for you. So like every client that I have, I get them to send me their information, whether it's an Apple Watch or whatever, so that I can take a look at it and see, 1, are they working hard enough? 2, are they doing what they need to be doing? Some people, are they working too hard and pull it back? So there's lots of information there. And I don't want to not talk about it with a cardio versus strength coffee chat. But as I said, there's just so much information that I can't go into as much detail. But if you have specific questions about your heart rate zones or anything like that, send them my way, because as I said, I will be doing something where it's either, I don't know if we'll do it a master class or a workshop or what, but I want to go into more details, because the more and more people who are wearing them, the more information that people have and more questions they have about it. All right, so Christina, really quickly, we have a big event coming up this weekend that incorporates so much of what we said about support and fitness and getting your cardio and strength in. What's going on with that?
So we're doing our virtual retreat this weekend, our second virtual retreat. We did one a couple months ago. It was a smashing success. We had an amazing time. And so we decided to do it again. We start our retreat on Friday night with a little like meet and greet, virtually, of course. We get together, we chat a little bit, really kind of informal meet and greet. On Saturday, we actually will start with a workout, which is sort of giving you an idea of what our classes are like. So if you've never come to one of our classes, or if you have and you love them, it gives you a bit of an idea of a lot of different classes. So Lindsay and I do what we call a mashup, where we take a bunch of the workouts that we do and we mash them all together. So Lindsay will teach a portion, I'll teach a portion. Lindsay will teach a portion, I'll teach a portion. And it works out to be really fun. That the whole workout, we just try to make a lot of fun. Then we have workshops and meal prep and all kinds of stuff that happens on Saturday. Finish off Saturday with an awards gala where we actually all dress up and get on a Zoom call together. It was so much fun last time. Like, that was probably the dress up and Zoom call was probably my favorite part. Because every day this is what I wear. So to be able to put on like real clothes felt so good. Sunday morning, same thing, a workout, and then another workshop, and then we wrap up. So it's all weekend all weekend long, but we do take lots of breaks in between. So you don't need to have the entire weekend set aside to be with us. But it is, you know, a fairly jam-packed weekend still. A lot of things are recorded, so you can always go back and watch them back. But yeah, it was a great way to connect with people and to share parts of your journey and get back on track. I know personally I needed for a little bit of that I let some habits creep back in, and there's just some pieces that I need to, some fine tuning to again. So I found when I did this before, when we did the virtual retreat before, just really plugging back into my journey for the weekend really helped me to reset and get that like kind of back on track.
Yeah, I think, I mean, like we were talking about this more, just even at the beginning of this coffee chat, it's already the middle of August, and we did this one back, I think, in May. And even though a lot of you, not me, a lot of you guys are, you know, out and about and talking to people and doing those things, it's the perfect timing. Because I was saying to Christina, I'm like, I feel like I need to refocus. I feel like I need to have that moment. We canceled our in-person retreat this year, obviously, due to COVID, and I miss that. I miss that connection. And even though we're very lucky and we get to see everybody, you know, in our programs, doing our classes and stuff, this is just takes it a little bit more to that next level. Like at our awards gala, we get dressed up. We had dance parties. We just drank the music. Everybody was dancing. Some people had some drinks. Other people had some water. Like, it was just a really great way to refocus, reset, and reconnect with other people, which, you know, is not just in your family, which is kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. So guys, get ready for that. Registration is still on. I think we have 4 or 5 spots left, something like that. So we have limited spots only because we don't want a massive group. We like having it small because we do have big group and small group gatherings within the weekend. So we want to make sure that it's a good size. And yeah, get yourself registered for that. If it's something that you want, I saw somebody posted yesterday, I think it was, where she's like, I haven't put myself first this whole COVID, and she's like, now it's my time. And I'm like, I love that, because I do feel like putting yourself first is something we do forget to do, especially if we're women and moms and business people and business owners and all that stuff. So there's so many reasons why this could be an amazing weekend for you, but refocus, reset, definitely have some virtual hugs and high fives with, you know, our people, and it will be awesome. If you've talked to anybody who came to one the last time, they definitely had a blast with it as well. So other than that, guys, don't forget on Thursday, an email will come out. On Saturday, a blog post will come out. We'll go in a little bit detail about just what we were talking about today. And obviously next Monday, we have another coffee chat coming your way, and we will post all about that as well. So anything else to add?
I think that's everything.
Awesome, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your Monday, guys, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye.
Take care.